Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm creating a card for the My Favorite Things sketch challenge that is going on right now. Today I am using the Many Bear Hugs Ahead and Love Speech Bubbles for My Favorite Things, and I'm also using the Nesting Circles die by Waffle Flower. So I'm starting with this amazing image and I'm going to do some Copic coloring. I stamped it out on Transotype perfect coloring paper using my Gina Design Amalgam ink. Now for my Copic coloring today, I tried out some shadow studies and I'm going to go over this image using some deeper shadows than I would normally do. Now in starting out really simple with some lighter colors than what is my end result going to be, but just I think it's easier to add more darker colors than to get rid of them. So that's why I prefer taking it easy in the beginning, and if I see that there is more room for shadows, then I will add them with another layer or whenever I have time for it. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm starting, as always, going from my darkest towards my lightest color, and I just keep going back and forth. Now normally I would first finish the head, but in this case I really wanted to see how dark I could go, so just to be sure of that, I first went along with the body of the bear as well, and then I could see further where I could add more shadows than originally. So I'm trying to sort of have an idea of a light source. In this case, in the upper right corner, in my opinion, there is sort of the light source. So that means that, in my opinion, the easy shadows are all situated at the left. How I start with this sort of shadow study is that I just first sketch out where my easy shadows are. So every part of this image that has a line on the left of the head, the left of the body, the left of the leg, those are the easy shadows. And then afterwards I check where there is a part of the body overlapping another one, like the head is making the back a bit darker than the shadow that will be already in the face or already on the body. So that's why I have a darker shadow there. And then, well, I just kept going back and forth. This is quite a large image, so it has like a need to get a lot of color on there. So I just kept going until it sort of looked alright, that it wasn't too light as well. And so now and then I had to clean up some of my mistakes where I went outside the lines, but that's no issue. If you have a colorless blender, you just go over it and it will push that alcohol ink away, and then if you're lucky, no, normally it erases everything. However, if you're using red colors or red tones, then it can be really tricky to get everything away, especially when you went outside the lines quite a bit. But that was not the case here, so it was fine. Also, my one marker again was a bit syrupy. It was getting to annoy me, my E47, so that's why the neck is quite dark right now, and I just kept going over it with the other markers as well to get it right. So this image took me a long time. The rest of this video will be quite short, but the coloring took me quite a while. But I also just want to show you, because, well, sometimes you just need to keep working on something before it will get to that point where you're all right with it, and you cannot give up at a specific point. You also probably noticed that this is one of the color combinations that I'm using quite often. I really like this brown color combination. I think you can go from really dark to really light with these colors combined. Also, it's just a lovely brown, but there are many more combinations, so if you don't have a marker like I'm using, maybe you can use just one marker less, or depending on at which stage you are missing a marker. Maybe you have a marker close by that is sort of similar from color tone. So then you just choose that one before buying all the markers, because there are a lot of markers and I don't think we need them all, although we want them all. I, for instance, want them all, of course, but then stems are more important than getting all those markers. So that's what keeping me from buying everything. Also, what I do when I'm like into a new color combination, I check out videos. For example, if I want a new purple, or I notice that I have some light purples missing that I need for a combination, and I just check other crafters and see if they have a lovely purple combination, because sometimes you think you have a combination by just checking the numbers and stuff. Well, in real life they aren't always as pretty together. So just to avoid that and having markers that you cannot use because you don't have the right combinations, just let yourself be inspired. Ask the crafter what they are using if you love something. Maybe they have written it down and then they can help you. Okay, so my big one, well, you see there is a lot of work on it. But for the small ones, I decided to keep them really light. So therefore also using one of my favorite combos, which is partially a combo that I used on the bigger one, being the E33, E53, E51 and E50. And then for the ears, well, lately I just use E13, E11 for the ears and the noses and stuff. So that's what I'm using today as well. I like it. And once that's done, I'm going to add a bit of color to the flowers and the grass as well, keeping it quite simple. And then I will use the matching die to cut everything out. What I also like about the die is that that little piece underneath the belly will also be die cut. And later on I will do a bit of ink blending on my background, and then you will see it through that hole that the die cut makes, and I just love it. This way I don't need to fiddle with getting the right blue underneath the bear. So onto the flowers, I'm just going to do a bit of yellow and a bit of purple. This is going to be the card for Mother's Day for my mother-in-law. I think you probably also have the same, that your other half isn't as crafty or even thinks about getting gifts and stuff. Well, I am in charge of making the card. So now I already have this card for her, and then my mother still needs a card. So, but I'm still way ahead, so that's good. So I'm almost done with the coloring, just going to flick a bit of this light color also going underneath the bears, and then later on also on the background I will use this marker to help me get the same color everywhere. Like this. And now onto the die cut. So I didn't cut it apart yet, but now I had to, so using that, and then I continue with my background. The sketch showed a circle, so I decided to use the nesting circle die by Waffle Flower. There you have loads of circles that you can use, and I just took the one that fitted best with these bears. So I'm trying to figure out how placement will go, and I decided to take also this Love Speech Bubbles, and I cut it out from glitter cardstock by Tonic Studios, the Gold Dust, one of my favorites. And I also cut out a strip, as you can see, laying on the card base. That's just to fit with the sketch. So I wanted the green on the bottom of this circle to run through with my image, so I just took that marker to finish it. And then for the sky I did some ink blending using these distress inks, Tumbled Gloss and Peacock Feathers. I wanted to have it a really bright card. This is going to be the Mother's Day card for my mother-in-law, as I said in the beginning, and she really likes bright colors, so when you're making your own cards you can really personalize it for the recipient. So that's what I did. And now I'm going to stamp out the sentiment on the bottom of the card base. So I'm stamping it out, same ink as the images, the Gina K Design Amalgam ink, and I love this script. It's really fine and detailed, and I think it fits perfectly with the images. So on the back of this circle I am adding a bit of Scotch 3M foam tape, and once that's on there I am going to add this circle to the right side of the panel, hanging it a bit over the panel to be able to cut off a part like in the sketch. And then I will add the gold details that I also have prepped. And I will finish with the image. So I'm placing it down. You saw me adding a bit of liquid glue on top of the Scotch 3M foam tape. Adding a bit of liquid glue onto your foam tape can really help with placement. You can wiggle it still a bit thanks to the liquid glue. So that's why I did it, because I wanted to make sure that it was lined straight. And now I'm going to add this gold strip. This is based on the sketch, as I said before. I'm trying to make it straight on there, and then later I will cut it off. On the sketch itself there are some tiny dots as well. I am replacing them with some hearts and also changing a bit of placement just to fit with my design. As I said before already, the sketch is a guideline. You can do whatever you want with it. The sketch is, for example, vertically, but if you want to make an horizontal card with the same idea, that it's perfectly fine. It's a guideline. So you can make it your own if you want to. And now with all the excess off, I can add the bear as well, and then just add it to a card base. So actually I kept this card really simple, also with the other image that I colored recently from this amazing illustrator. I love the image so much. I don't want to take away any of the beauty. So I prefer keeping it simple, and when I saw this sketch I just thought that it was perfect for this image. So that's why I used it, and I'm really happy that I did. So this is my card. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and of course that you like the end result. If you have any questions, you can always leave them down below in the comments. I will get back to you as soon as possible. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much again, and I will be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!